All right, here we go. So let's get into REI school, single family versus multifamily. So I get this question a lot, single family versus multifamily. A lot of people want to get into the multifamily game. They're excited about the numbers. They're excited about actually, we should probably just move, I was going to say we should just move we should have moved the TikTok camera over to where I'm actually looking at it, but it's fine, actually. It's good. I get asked all the time, should I start with single family or multifamily, or hey, I want to buy a 32 unit with no experience, what do I do? So that's what this is. I'm going to talk about the pros and the cons of single family versus multifamily and what that looks like and how that what's best for that. Do you think that makes sense to have it do that way or not? Okay. All right, cool. We're going to run with it. You can take that wherever you want, T. Jork. Cool. All right, so single family versus multifamily, let's rock it. So we own, Lucas and I, he's not here for the but we own about 150 single-family rental houses. We own we own 6 apartment complexes. Look, it go around the cord. There you go. That works. All right, that actually right there is perfect. All right, that's exactly where it needs to be. All right, so we own 6 apartment complexes, about 130 doors there. So I'm very versed at the single family versus multifamily. I've done over 1,000 single family, or my companies have done over 1,000 single family deals in the past 9 years. And then I own 150 single family rentals and 6 apartment complexes. So I'm pretty versed on both, unlike a lot of people that talk about this kind of stuff. So I'll be able to give you a good feel of both. We're even going to show you some of the ones that we own. And then the deal of the week is a 12-unit apartment complex that we bought a few years ago. So let me define them. So a lot of people think and I don't know if it's inaccurate or it's accurate, but a lot of people will say like a 4-unit, like a 4-plex or a 4-unit is a multifamily. And I guess technically it is because there's more than one family there, but people in the industry and people that invest don't look at it that way. A multifamily is 5 units or more. The reason it's 5 units or more is because it is looked at as a commercial loan. The 4 units or less can be residential loans. So 1, 2, 3, and 4 units, those a single family up to a 4-plex, they're valued the same. They're valued based on comparable sales, and then you can finance them the same as you can a single family house. So that's why they're lumped in together. Multifamilies are 5 units or more. They are not based on they're not based on a 10 unit that I own is not a comp for a 10 unit that somebody else owns. The comp, the value of them is based on the income they produce. A single family rental can make $10,000 a month and still be worth $100,000. So they're based on the comparable sales, if that makes sense. And Shane, the best community organizer ever. You're getting a shout out, Shane. Don't even know you're coming with that beamed up cut. All 165 pounds of him. All right, so you'll get why that's a joke later. We'll say that joke. So that's the difference. So single family is 1 to 4 units, multifamily is 5 or more for people in the industry as well as for this discussion. So that's the difference. When I say a single family, I mean a triplex. I mean a duplex. I mean a 4-plex. I mean a single family. When I say multifamily, I mean 5 to 5,000 units. It can be any size at that point. And then the rules are, I kind of made these when I thought Luke was going to be a part of this conversation, but the rules are, I'm not going to say this is a pro for this one and a con for that one. I'm specifically going to stay on topic, which is not always easy for me. I'm going to stay just specifically on topic as far as like what the actual topic should be. So if I say a pro of single family, I'm not going to be like, this is also a con of multifamily. I'm going to stick with what works. So I've tried duplex and 4-plex, just haven't been profitable. Yeah, it's tough to it can be tough to be profitable. You got to find good deals. So I appreciate the comment, the DJ Nutronic. Keep the comments coming. We got X. I don't know if I see their comments, but then we got Facebook and YouTube. So check that out. And if you're listening after, thank you. Appreciate you, mooch. All right, so let's get into single family. Let's talk about the pros of single family. And don't worry, I'm going to get into which one should you invest in first. So the pros of single family. So the first pro of single family is it's the lowest barrier of entry, meaning you don't have to have a lot of experience. You don't have to have a lot of funds to actually invest in single family rentals. Now, if we're talking like barrier of entry, you can wholesale and fix and flip these with no money, no credit, but we're sticking with single family rentals. So extremely low barrier of entry. The price points are super low. You can get into the single family rental game with, a private lender and a bank or a private lender and a hard money lender, they're super easy to get in the space. It's doesn't happen overnight, but you can get into it pretty easily. And then another pro of single family rentals is you can ride a hot market. The market values your property. It's based on recent house sales. So if the houses around you are selling for a lot, then the price of your house went up and you didn't have to do anything to increase that value. All right, gotta follow the rules. Not gonna talk about multifamily right now. So you didn't do anything to increase that value. You had a property that a tenant was living in that they maintained. You took care of any maintenance that was needed on your end, and that property has gone up probably 20% in value in the past 3 years, because we have been riding a hot market recently, and most markets are hot. Real estate doubles in value every 15 years. So you get to ride that, and that just happens without your involvement. You don't have to physically repair the kitchen every 2 years to create value. The value is created through a hot market, which obviously there's a downside of that we'll talk about later. And then the tenant base. The tenant base of single-family rentals is really, really strong. And let me know if you agree or disagree in the comments, and we can have a fun conversation as we're getting the ball rolling. Bruce, we're talking like the property's already fixed up, either BRRRR or turnkey. So the tenant base tends to be better with single families. Not always, but the tenant base tends to be better and they stay longer. Our average stay on our single families is probably 4 to 5 years. Not probably, is 4 to 5 years. Our average stay on multifamilies is probably 2 years or less. So the tenant base, it's a home. They look at it as a home. They stay there for a long time. They put Christmas lights up usually. They're the ones mowing the grass. They're the ones shoveling the driveway. They're the ones putting up pictures and making it nice. And they supplant themselves into it. And usually single family, a three bed, 2 bath ranch in Maryland Heights in St. Louis is going to rent for $2,000. A 2-1 apartment complex there is going to rent for $1,000. So not always, and I don't want to make a blanket statement, but in general, people that are more financially responsible, hence they can afford more rent, are usually more responsible in all of their lives. Usually how you do one thing, you do everything. Not always. So for the most part, if you're more financially responsible, you can afford more rent, and you're going to be more responsible with the property. Jeff, is your buy box? My buyplex, in your buy box, your buy box on a duplex or quadplex probably doesn't matter. You're not going to get many 3, 2, 4plexes. They're going to be 2 1s or 2 2s. And then another thing is diversification. You're spread out. I'm trying to follow the rules here. So I own single families in Troy, Missouri, and then an hour southwest of that, I own single families, 45 minutes, maybe hour in Maryland Heights and in St. John's. I know you don't know that area, and then I own them up in Hazelwood. So my single families are spread out through 3 counties. So if one county passes a law or one county has growth or decline, I'm spread out. I'm diversified. So that's another bonus of single family. I see my boy Shane back there nodding his head. He knows. Doing laser pointer on his eyes. All right. And then liquidity. Single families are super liquid. So you can sell them very, very easily. When you sell a single family house, you are selling to, there we go. We got X on there. We have, if you're selling a single family house, you are able to, sell it to a family who wants to live in it or an investor. You have a huge, a pool of people that want to buy that house. We're not going to talk about the other one right now, but super liquid. You can sell them very, very quickly because everybody needs a house. And then also the price point is less on houses than anything else. So you're able to sell them and get out of them quicker, and the financing's quicker, and you get in and out of you can sell a house in 3 weeks. You can't sell anything else that quickly. So super, super liquid. So to round this out, and then we're going to move on to the pros of multifamily. Single family is the lowest barrier of entry of any investment class in real estate. Investment class that you own. You can ride a hot market, which we've done in single family. You don't do anything just like crypto. My crypto is doing very well. Let's check on this live. My crypto is doing very well, and I didn't do anything. I just have ridden the hot market. Goodness gracious, 73,000 right now, over 4,000 again. Ethereum, XRP is doing all right, and so I own Bitcoin, Ethereum, Yearn Finance, XRP, and Dogecoin. They're all doing very green today. So I didn't do anything, and they went up in value. And then the tenant base. I don't want to generalize, but generally, our single family tenant base stays longer, which is just important. And then they tend to be a little more responsible. And then diversification, I'm spread out through several counties or through 3 or 4 counties. So if one county goes up or down, I kind of can be diversified and not all in one place. And then liquidity, they're the most liquid real estate asset to own because you can sell them quickly. And then Bruce Gilbert says, do you have to travel often? No, everything I own is in St. Louis. I do have 1,600 students, and maybe a quarter of them to a third of them invest remotely, but I'm all in St. Louis and I guess a hotel in Branson. All right, let's get on to the cons of, or the pros of the single family. Where are we at right now? Cold market inefficiencies. So this is the single family cons, right? Yeah, this is the single family cons. All right. So the single family cons are you can get the cold market effect. So kind of the exact opposite of multifamilies is you can have a cold market. Like if somebody bought a property in 2005, 2006, and let's go to Phoenix, lost like 50% of its value, and they didn't do anything wrong. Just like you didn't do anything right to have it go up in value, you didn't do anything wrong to have it go down in value. So that you get the bull and the bear effects. You kind of ride it out overall. It will double in value if you take care of it, because that's what real estate has done and will always do. However, that cold market can affect you, but as long as you don't have to sell, again, I'm going to probably spin all these cons and make them positives. If you don't have to sell, it doesn't matter what the value of your property is worth. And then there's some inefficiencies with maintenance as far as single families go. So, if my single families are spread out all for 3 different counties, and if I own one here, one 30 minutes away, one 20 minutes away, like if there's something that needs to be done at both properties, I'm driving all over the damn place, or my maintenance techs are driving all over the damn place. So it's just not as efficient. So not the end of the world, but it does make things a little more difficult as far as maintaining, going through different properties. I like the DJ Tronic. DJ Natronic, I mean, whatever, I'm not gonna say that right. I like to diversify different counties. Yeah, it is for sure. Awesome. Thank you for the input. Any input you got's great. And then they're slower to scale. If I want to pick up 10 rental doors, I have to buy 10 single family houses, and that 10 acquisitions, 10 rehabs, 10 refinances, like it's just one at a time I have to do. So it's a little bit slower to scale. And some of the inefficiencies of maintenance is, if I buy 10 properties, I got 10 different roofs to look over, and 10 different water heaters, and 10 different AC systems. So it can be a little more inefficient. So I love them both. I'm going to give you my favorite at the end, though. But in general, those are some of the cons of single families. Is a cold market can affect you without your control. The kind of inefficient, and then slower to scale. So let me know what your thoughts are, the pros and cons of single families. Let's move on to. I'm going down. Oh, let's move on to multifamilies. Am I supposed to go down? All right, I'll move on to multifamilies. All right, so multifamily cons is the multifamily pros now. Okay, multifamily pros. So one of the pros of multifamily is you got speed of scale. Like you can scale very quickly. If I want to get to 10 doors, I can do that in one investment. A 10-unit apartment complexes. I own a 32 unit, a 27 unit, a 29 unit, a 16 unit. Oh no, a 19 unit. I should know this. A 12 unit and a 9 unit. Is that 6? I think, I don't know. Anyways, I own 6 of them, and I have 130 doors through 6 transactions, as opposed to 130 doors through 130 transactions with single family. So you can scale much quicker, which is huge, because the more you scale, the more money you make and the more wealth you can create. The more you scale, the money wealth you can create. That was kind of a rhyme. Put it on the album for the Freedom rap number 2. And then the second pro of multifamilies is you have control over the asset's value. What's up, Micah? How you doing? You have control over the asset's value. So single families, can be a pro or a con. We got to stick with multifamilies. Sorry, we can't go into the single families. The rules are you can't compare the two as we're going through them. So you have control over the asset. So I control the value of my multifamily properties, because I'm not going to get too technical here, but multifamily properties are based on the income that they produce. So if I'm able to increase the income, 2 ways how you increase income in any business is you increase income, or you increase, profit, and you decrease expenses. So the properties that I buy, the multifamilies that I buy them because they're undervalued and they're under rented. Now, I usually am still kind of low on my rent. I don't collect, if the rent's in that area is $1,000, I'll usually do $900 or $950. I like to give my tenants a little bit of a deal, but I'm not going to buy that apartment complex. Let's say market rent's $1,000 per unit. I'm not going to buy that if it's rented for $1,000 a unit. There's no upside for me. So I get these properties at, if they're rented for $700 a unit, then I make them a little bit nicer and increase the income by charging more rent when tenants move out, of course. But then I also get efficient with expenses. The apartment complex that I buy are value add. A lot of them, there's, mom and pop management. They're not efficient. They're, paying for the cable bill. They're not, we cut expenses while taking better care of the tenants, which sounds like an oxymoron, but it's not. So get super, I increase the income, therefore increase the value. It's called forced appreciation. And then I have that I force that appreciation. Micah says, I heard the Burr method is not good right now because the market. Is that true? That is incorrect statement, Micah. We'll talk about that in a minute. I'll end on that. So maybe that should be my rant next time. But anyways, what's up, Ginger O'Dwyer? She's going to be at Freedom Fest. I know she is. So anyways, Mike, I'll get into the Burr's method here in a minute. So we got speed of scale, control of the values asset. You can force the appreciation, you force the value, and then efficiencies of maintenance. If say this 10 unit that we've been talking about, if there's 3 or 4 proper units inside of that 10 unit that need work, I can send a maintenance tech. He can, to be super stereotypical, it can fix the leaky toilet in one unit, fix the leaky sink in another, tighten the handrail on the stairs up to the property, and change the light in the common area. Whatever he can do is several things in one place and not have to go to 10 different places. So super efficient with maintenance, which is important. And then it's the wealth accelerator. If you want to build wealth because of speed of scale, because of control of value, you're going to be able to do that more with multifamilies. Most people create their wealth through multifamilies. Single families helps for sure. It it makes you more. Probably got to start there. Spoiler alert for later, but it does. You can create more wealth through it. All right, so some cons of multifamily. Let's chug a little bit of Celsius. I usually can drink while Lucas is talking, but let's pour one out for Luke. He's not feeling well. Is that funny, Shane? All right, all right. So some cons of multifamily. It can be harder to raise funds and get finance for. This is a big one. Stick within the rules. Don't talk about single families. It's harder to raise. It can be hard to raise money for multifamilies. Banks usually want you to have experience before they're going to give you a loan on a multifamily property because it is like a business in itself. There are different types of loans. They're commercial loans. They're Fannie Freddie loans. They're bigger boy, bigger girl type loans. You got to put on your big boy pants, your big girl pants to do multifamilies, 5 units or more, and it's harder to raise money for that. If you want to buy that 32 unit, which is the number everybody has in their head, I want to buy a 32 unit. Well, you're not going to do that if you have no experience in any type of real estate, singles or multis. You have to get experience to get into the game because that 32 unit is probably going to cost you $5 million. So you got to come up with 20% down, 25% down. So you got to come up with, $1.2 million. So you got to raise $1.2 million, then you got to get appraised for $3.84 million. So, you got to raise $1.2 million, and then you got to get approved from the bank for $3.8 to $4 million to go with that math of that $5 million property. So it takes a lot more to do that. They just don't hand those loans out. So it can be harder to get financed for sure. It's harder to sell as well. If you're talking multifamily, you're only selling to investors. And just like it's harder to get financed, for you to buy it, it's harder to get finance for somebody else to buy it over any other type of asset class. So it's harder to sell when it comes to multifamilies. There's just not that many people out there that can have the desire, have the funding to close on that 32 unit worth $5 million. And then you get more mobile of a tenant base, meaning not even talking about the quality of the tenant, but they move out, every 12 to 24 months as opposed to other asset classes, commercial being the least amount they move out of, like a commercial building. But so if a tenant's leaving every 12 to 24 months, it does make it harder to cash flow on that specific unit. So, you have to specifically get that unit to cash flow, trying to get, $100, $150 of cash flow out of that unit per month. But what happens when the tenant moves out every year and you have to put $1,000, $500 back into it to paint it and make it rent ready. That really digs into cash flow. So the fact that tenants move out more does make it harder to cash flow. And then there's usually a bigger CapEx. That roof to replace on that 32 unit is going to be 40-50 grand. So you have to set money aside for that CapEx, and it's a bigger amount of the 40 grand roof, the 30 grand parking lot resurface, the 40 grand paint job. Like it requires a lot more CapEx to run and operate. Micah says, what's your opinion on where the interest rates are going to be in the next 5 years? Up or down a point, not much movement. All right, so that's kind of my multifamily cons. They can be harder to raise funds to get finance to buy, harder to sell because of that very reason. More mobile tenant base in and out, it's just harder to cash flow. And then bigger CapEx. So the numbers are just bigger for the good and the bad, if that makes sense. All right, so here's some of our properties that we own. Here is the 32 unit that I kept using. This 32 unit we own, beautiful building. There's two 16 units side by side. The 40 grand roof is exactly that. We got one of these roofs replaced 40 grand though, but it's a beautiful, beautiful building. That we got 32 tenants stacked together, 16 on each side. It's awesome, but also we had there was a flood a couple years ago, and one of the units, the basement flooded, knocked out all the power, so we had to move out 16 people. We had that happen at houses every once in a while. You move out one person, so it just bigger numbers. So there's our 32 unit, beautiful property. Here's our very first multifamily we bought. This is a 9 unit in downtown St. Charles, Missouri. Worldwide headquarters of Watt Properties. That's where that was for a while. But this was our first one. We got our teeth wet on this one, and I think we closed on this December 31st, 2015. So there's a 9 unit, nice, beautiful little brick building. All efficiency units upstairs, I believe 6 of them. And then there is 2 commercial units to the front-facing doors you see, and then the back side is one bedroom. So there's kind of what you get for everything there. All right, and then last one you see, here's a 27 unit that we own. There's each building has 12 units on it, and then there's the one on the right you see it's got 3 floor units or little basement units. So, or I guess not basement, but ground level units. There's basements underneath it, I believe, actually. So, anyways, this is a 27 unit that we own in Brentwood, Missouri. So, beautiful area, great area of town. It's kind of nestled in with some residential, which I kind of like. So that's kind of our multifamilies, 3 of the 6 that we own. We'll get into the one of the other ones in the deal of the week here coming up soon. And then here's some single families we own. Usually we like clean. Simple is good for rentals and for flips. A little pro tip. It's fun to do this like weird outlay, modern type, but that doesn't appeal to as many people. You want something that appeals to the masses. So a 3-bed, 2-bath is ideal. You can do 2 1s. We have some of those, some 4 2s, those kind of things, 3 1s. But in general, you want simple, clean. It's easy to maintain as well as it appeals to the most amount of people. So this is a 3-1, nice little property. We have in a good area. You can see it. These are probably B class. And then here's another. This one's a 3 1.5, I believe, a similar area, but nice trees. I don't love all the big trees. I think we took a couple of the ones in the back down, but you can see they're just nice, clean properties. We take good care of them. We put in good tenants. I think we shot a couple of videos of this one actually. And then here's another one. This is actually a really good area of town, but this one's a 4-2 actually. But yeah, we have they're just nice quality properties. We have pride in ownership. We are landlords, not slumlords, and we really try to have nice properties, whether it's single families or multifamilies. We shifted about 2 or 3 years ago from trying to buy as many doors as we could to buy as many quality assets as we could. So we stopped looking at door count and look at asset value. I would rather own a 15-unit, $5 million apartment complex than a 50-unit, $5 million apartment complex because, again, based on we'll just hit the mic, sorry about that, but based on the quality of the asset. Sometimes this damn mustache itches. It just looks so damn good. I can't take it down. I just get compliments left and right on it, but it itches sometimes, so I got to work on that. What do you mean by class? So somebody says, what class? So that's a great question. We'll dig in that real quick. And this, I think, because this is good for anybody listening. But like A through D class. A class is really nice. These are all like B. This is probably B plus. But A class is like an area, great school districts, all owner occupants, no renters, super expensive, don't cash flow, not good rental properties because they don't cash flow. They're higher end properties. B class is some rentals, mainly owner occupants, and the rent's good, the property value's good, they go up in value, the cash flow a little bit lighter, but you can cash flow. C class is what most rentals are. It's a neighborhood that's got half rentals, half owner occupants. The school district's fine, it's a safe area, but it's kind of a renter area. And then D and below class are kind of those like war zones and just really rough areas where you get no property growth and you get property. That's a good video to make. We should make one of that. But you get cash flow but no property growth. That's more of the slumlord area. Okay, cool. So now let's get into the avatar. So I just want to start. Let's start at the bottom and work our way up. So you don't have to just pick one. You can start it with multiple, but most likely you're going to have to start with single family. You are much more likely to get approved for a $200,000 single family rental on your very first deal than a $2 million apartment complex. You just are. So, or duplex or triplex or fourplex. Same thing with single family. I said that earlier. But 1 to 4 unit, much more likely to get approved on, as well as the banks are going to want to see that. We got turned down. The 32 unit apartment complex we bought, 2017, the bank said no. Our good bank that we work with said no. We had that 9 unit. Like I said, we closed on that at the beginning of 2016, end of 15. We had probably 40 single families, and they still said no. And times were a little bit different. Banks were a little bit tighter back then. But in general, we were told no because we didn't have enough experience. They don't want to take that 30 unit back. So having more experience and dipping your toes in the single family game, you'll have done a loan. You'll have that, and every single private lender that's ever given us money to buy multifamily started out with single family. So your lending sources, from your private lenders to your banks, you're going to have experience with single families and prove the concept. You're going to prove to the banks that you know how to manage your property. You're going to make contractor introductions, and you're going to work through contractors. So you're just going to be so much quicker and better at multifamily and even able to do it than single families because of the experience that's created. So the avatar is the same. It's, you want to invest in real estate and create wealth, you should probably start with single families, in my opinion. That's why I have a whole single family mentorship. Boom. Our little ticker at the bottom, by the way, I don't know if we even do that anymore, but we'll probably should add Freedom Fest to that. All right, Q&A. What questions do you have? We kind of answer some in between. We got a couple minutes through this before. Oh, we got headlines. Are you coming for headlines? Yeah. All right. So we got. I can see him sweating over there. It's dripping down. He's so nervous. He's going to go from 165 to 160 just from sweating it out. So any questions why Shane or Gainer makes his way up here? Shane. All right. Throw your questions in as Shane comes in. So Shane is a 20-year-old stud that works here at FasterFreedom. He's our community success manager. He's basically running FasterFreedom Fest. He's put a lot of time into that. He's also put in some time into some things that I haven't done anything with, but that's okay. That's part of business, Shane.
It is what it is. I'm here to serve.
You're here to serve. Put that 6 inches away from your mouth. 6 inches is different for some people. Got to make that joke. So
Lucas,
we're gonna go a little bit deeper. Like Lucas has never done that. We need a deeper we need a deeper Lucas like box or something. We need that somewhere where every time I make fun of Lucas for not going deep, we do a box. So Shane,
yes.
Why don't you just quickly introduce yourself to the audience, let them know a little bit about yourself, and then if you go too long, I'll cut you off, and then what you do here.
Sounds good. Yeah. So my name is Shane. I am a 20-year-old crusher, as Kaola would say. In this position as the community success manager, I make sure that the people that are paying to learn how to invest in real estate from Sam have access to all of the tools and resources. There's a lot of videos, a lot of different calculators and things, and my goal is to make sure that your members and your mentees have all of those things, and that their real estate investing journey is successful. That's really my goal, is to see people succeed.
So literally, we've said this before, but when I was 20, I was getting in bar fights with Lucas, and you're here working a full-time grown-ass job. So he is very, very smart, and we're lucky to have you and excited to have you and watch you grow within this company. You got a lot of room to grow, and you got this place to do it. So yeah. Now, tell me what you do in your Trump impersonation.
Yeah, so
we're not like pro or anti, he's just doing it. Everybody does this Trump thing.
So not too long after I started, we have our team meetings, and my direct leader, Matt, who's Matty Dubs.
He's kind of the co-host usually, but he's busy right now.
Right, third string is what I am right now.
At least you're on the podium.
That's
Bronze
right.
medal, still on the podium.
Left bench warmer.
Yep.
So we were doing our team member spotlight. I was kind of introducing myself to the team, and I had gone through what I had prepared to say in front of my peers, and then Matt's like, "Hey, do the Trump impression." So
in front of 40 people, and now you're doing it. I mean,
and now I'm doing it in front of however many that are recorded.
And we're gonna make this a short too. So all right, so do your best Trump impersonation, Shane.
So Matt likes him talking about the bees. So my family has bees, and one day I was kind of thinking, like, what would Trump say, or how would Trump act if he had bees? Frankly, the bees, they're great things. They're working hard for me. They produce the honey. It's the sweetest honey. Frankly, people say, Donald, you have the sweetest honey, and it's true. I do. They're right when they say that.
I like it. Very good. I won't make you go any further, but it's funny how people that are good at Trump impersonations, we should have, I guess, spray painted you orange. But anyways, people are good at the Trump impersonations. They just change the words that they say. That's not how you would describe it. So you change the cadence, the volume, the depth of your voice, but also what you say changes.
Frankly, I didn't say that. That's what they're saying.
Yes.
Things like that.
Yeah, somebody said more hand movements. Look at all the laughs you're getting. You got good. I'll make him do it at the end. Hang around. We'll make him do it here in a little bit.
Sounds good.
Maybe you can come and do the when I shoot the shot. You can do the announcement of that.
Sounds good. Put some prompts in there if you have some certain topics you want me to talk about.
Perfect. I love it. All right. So I'll do my Joe Biden impersonation. Ready?
Okay. Hey, that's pretty good.
Yeah,
that's
thanks.
pretty good.
Yeah, yeah, we're not going into that, but I can't believe those are our two choices. That's all I'm going to say. Thanks for watching. We appreciate it. Make sure to hit that like button, comment with something you learned, and make sure to subscribe to this channel. We give away more free advice on how to create wealth based on things we actually do every single day than any other channel on YouTube. Make sure to share this with a friend because our mission is to inspire you to think differently about freedom.